Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM. Today is World Mental Health Day, and as most of you know, I've not been too good with my mental health of recent times, feeling completely burnt out and run out by everything. So I wanted to highlight the importance of talking to your friends about your mental health. And in the lack of having some good friends to talk to, I've got these guys.
Wow.
Rude.
To be fair, having good friends and being able to talk is the most important thing to keeping on top of your mental health. Or when you are feeling down, being able to have friends and open up and say, I'm bothered by this, and trying to lose this big stigma of man up, because it's actually a really damaging thing to say.
There's nothing worse than when you're feeling down and someone says, oh, just man up.
Yeah, get over it. Get over yourself.
Cheer up.
Well,
Have you tried to cheer up?
Well, it doesn't help, does it? And what the worst thing about a comment like that is it then makes you feel like you're less willing to then open up to somebody else and talk to somebody else about it, because you just get shut down.
Yeah. You just shut down and go, no, I'm just not going to talk to anyone. Thanks very much.
Now, I mean, personally, I feel that I've never struggled too badly with my mental health. I normally hit exhaustion, and to the point that I've got nothing left. And that then weighs not just on my mental health, but my physical health as well, because I've pushed myself to that. And of course, you know, burnout is mental health, isn't it? That's part of your mental health. And when you hit burnout, it's not the worst thing that could happen, but it is certainly an impact on one's mental health.
It then starts impacting you physically as well.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. I feel that when I hit burnout, I feel that, I just don't have any physical energy. Like I can't be bothered to get up. I struggle to get up and get going and actually get into gear.
Which is where we come in, because when you're feeling a bit meh, there's often a friendly message from one of us guys that sort of, well, we try to give you a little lift, a little pickup, and we tend to do it with each other as well.
Or a bit of taking the mick, which always helps.
Yeah, there's that as well, yeah.
Well, I think the whole group is actually really good, because, and for me personally, you guys have made such a big difference to me, because it's not just the comments and like the emotional support, it's also the fact that you guys have taken on some of the workload, and that's made a huge difference to my mental health and my entire well-being, full stop.
I think it's also important to say here that we also know our limits as well.
Well, you do.
I know you push your limits perhaps too far sometimes, but Tom and I especially, we know what our limits are. So,
I'm looking at a clock and I'm going, if I'm editing this now and I've got to be up at X time in the morning, I think I'm just going to go to bed. But then there's the difference between us, is it's not our main job. So if we don't edit a video, it doesn't really matter. Whereas Lawrie's always got the mental, the thing in the back of your head of, if I don't edit this and it doesn't go out, I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, and that weighs very heavily upon me all the time. Is that, I've got that pressure all the time. And to be fair, I know you felt it as well a couple of times, Tom, when it's like, do you reckon you can get this done? And you're like, yes.
No.
You're like, you can turn this around by the weekend, right? Okay, maybe. How long have we got? 3 days. No.
Yeah, but then you get an encouraging message from me saying, work harder.
Yeah, you're like, come on, what are you doing? Work harder. Cheers, Dave, thanks.
In the context of this might not sound like he's the most helpful comment that you might receive, but there's a really good dynamic between us, and checking up on each other is important.
Yeah, I will say one thing as well, is obviously before we stepped in, I think one of the main things we noticed was that Lawrie was always tired. He was always stressed about something. It was, I've got to edit 3 videos this week to get the videos out. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do it. If I don't do it, I won't get money, and then the channel won't grow. And it's that horrible vicious cycle of, if I don't do this, this won't happen. And if I don't do that, then this won't happen. And I think that's when we were like, if there's anything we can do to try and make your life a little bit easier, then obviously we will do.
It has made a hell of a difference.
It was that, please, Lawrie, let us do something.
It's really hard, though, to let go and to share something that's so important to you.
I was going to say, it's something you've done sort of alone for so long, and you've got, the way you edit is very, very specific to the channel and specific to how you've done it. So I think to let other people just have a go at things, you're like, but this is my baby. I don't want to, let anybody else mess with it.
And you've got a very high standard.
Well, this is it. As big-headed as it sounds, and I try not to say things like this, I was watching some TV during my break, and I was watching it and going, this is rubbish. We do better stuff on the channel than this. There's just the quality of the shots and the storytelling. So this is absolute dross. And Yeah, and I thought, well, actually, yeah, the standard what we churn out is good, and I do hold everything to a high standard. And again, I think for me and for my own mental health, the other thing that's affected me is the fact that I've had people come and offer to help. And, we had the first team, and then slowly, one by one, they all dropped out through whatever reason for, in some cases, their own mental health or work commitments or just feeling that it wasn't what they wanted to do. And so then to then bring other people in, and then the same thing happened with those people who came in, was that they then walked away from the channel. It then makes it harder to open up to more people because you let people in and you trust people and you start to rely on those people, and that makes it all the harder when that's then taken away, especially when it suddenly drops and they go, no, that's it, I've had enough, I'm not doing it. It's one thing if that help slowly disappears, because you can it's a measured step to picking up the pace, whereas suddenly you go, yes, I had somebody doing all this, and now it's like, oh no. And that makes it hard. It makes it hard to love again.
But it makes it hard for you to then trust anybody again, doesn't it? Or to try and move past all of that.
Oh, it does. It really does. It's really hard. And it's hard to make sure that the person who is helping understands that it is my baby. It's something I care, and I've put so much. What is this? This year 7 of the channel? And, so much of my money and my inheritance has gone onto this to make it happen. And it's hard to share with people.
It's also important for us that when we came in, we came in with some quite, firm boundaries as to what our limits were as well. And I think that's something that's not helped previously, is where you've had people go, yeah, I could do that, yeah, I could do that, yeah, I could do that. Take it all on and then go, I can't cope with this. What do I do with it?
They promise everything and give nothing.
Yeah, and then throw it out and
that's
bail.
the worst thing. I can work with the channel. I can't do that. Frequently, I've asked you guys and we've said, hey, I've got a filming date. Can we do this? And you guys
I can't
get the time off, or don't have the time off. And that's fine. Or, hey, I need you to do this. Can you do this thing for me? Nah, sorry, I haven't got the time. And that's fine, because I can work with that. But my biggest problem that I've had previously, and something that has a huge impact on my mental health, is, yeah, no worries, I'll sort that for you. Or, yeah, I'll do that. And then it doesn't happen. And there's several things, and an audience will know several things that have been promised to happen that haven't yet happened, which most actually are all in the pipework now, thanks to you guys. But people have said,
Watch
oh, yeah,
this
I can
space.
do that. And it doesn't happen. And I don't think necessarily people realise the huge impact that has upon mental health when you've assigned something, sounds terrible, but someone's taken something on and you've been like, great, run with that, and nothing happens, and then it comes back to you, it still falls into my lap to deal with after I thought it was going to be dealt with. It's hard.
I'd like to know what you think with sort of us and the team that we've got now is, that if one of us can do something, we will do it.
Oh yeah, it's amazing at the moment. I mean, you guys are my best friends as well, so it's lovely having this.
Oh, friends.
Yeah, so am I. But it's lovely having like a group of really good mates who've got a lot of shared interests. We're into our cars, into our vehicles, into our trains, and so we can talk casually about that, and being able to work within that is brilliant. And it's just nice knowing that if I have a problem or any of you have a problem, we've all got each other's backs. We've all been up late with each other, offering support, and when it works, it's a lovely working environment. And YouTube is hard. I mean, people kind of go, oh, you just make videos. Making videos easy. I shoot a video on my phone all the time, and it's a simple thing to do. And there's so much more to it. And editing is hard.
This is why, sometimes I'd take a picture of my screen of Resolve when I'm doing an edit, because people go, oh yeah, as you say, oh, editing's a piece of cake. You just slap this there and slap this there and a bit of music here. And when you look at, when you've got, for example, the thing I'm currently editing, which is our trip to Europe, there's some bits where there's sort of 3 different sets of video, about 8 different audio tracks, and you just think, what do I do with this? But something that was nice as well, actually, that I really enjoyed, and I know you enjoyed it as well, was when we had that quite late evening till about 3 o'clock in the morning, but we were both working on different videos, both just sitting at the computer with a shared pain of being up at 2 o'clock in the morning trying to edit a video together.
And that sounds really negative,
nice.
But that was really good. There was a really good vibe of that. But I think that's it. When stuff's working and you've got production happening, it's really good. And I think that's part of the really good thing, is that we check up on each other. We look after each other within this group and make sure that everyone's okay, and frequently check on the workload. We chat to each other about how we're getting on with projects. And that's one of the big things that I'd like you guys to take away from this, is to check up on your friends. If you know someone who's gone a bit quiet, or they used to hang out a lot and they're not, just a casual message to say, hey, well, yeah, how you doing? It doesn't have to be anything. You don't need to ask them to spill their feelings or anything. Just reach out, just establish a connection, because you don't know what a huge difference it makes. And frequently I find, like, the community around LMM is amazing. And so often I get the odd message off you guys, or I bump into you guys in the real world, and you'll say something nice to me, and you have no idea what the difference it makes to me personally to hear a comment of, oh, I really like that video, or I love what you're doing on the channel, keep going. Like, for you, a throwaway comment, for me, it makes my world. And I know that these two feel the same as well. Like, when people come and talk to you guys about the channel, it's amazing, isn't it?
First of all, it's a bit weird because I'm not used to the attention. But then somebody will say something like, "Oh yeah, I saw you on this video where you were doing this thing," and suddenly you end up with a conversation going back and forth, and they'll often say, "Oh yeah, I really enjoy the videos when I'm feeling a little bit low because I can watch them, and it's like a warm hug to them almost."
It's nice as well when people come up to you and they'll go, "Oh, that video that you did, I really enjoyed that. You know, it was the whole way it came together and what you did and the way it all works. And I really enjoyed sitting down and just watching that video." Especially if they say, you know, I was in a bit of a dark place. I wasn't feeling 100%, but watching your banter between the lot of you really gave me a bit of a boost, which I think is amazing considering all we're doing is messing about.
On some of the longer form videos like the Lawrie Goes Locos, that people get lost within it. They get lost within it and see the intricacies of preparing a steam loco to move off shed, and they become part of it, and they get an understanding as to how things actually work, and they get lost and drawn into it and distracted from the pressures of the world going on around them.
It's really nice to know that you've made something that's made an impact to people, and that people do enjoy it and that it makes a difference to people. And some people, I know in the community, the channel has made a huge difference to their lives. You know, for some people, it's been a really, really important, a bedrock or an anchoring point for them to have something. And also for, I know for a lot of people like me, they struggled with bullying at school, particularly being into trains. It wasn't cool. And to be able to normalise that and make trains and liking old vehicles and wanting to work on stuff, to make that normal and to normalise that, and for some people that's huge. I don't think that we realise sometimes when we're mucking around in the shed or driving a train or just having an adventure or just hanging out, what a big impact we can have on others. And I think that's something for everyone to realise, that what you do can have a monumental impact. And I feel like I shouldn't have to say that if you're bullying someone, if you're being mean to someone, or you think you're having banter and taking the mick out of somebody, you don't necessarily know that what the impact that might have on somebody. Again, talking from my experience, when I first started making friends, I mean, I didn't really have any friends till I hit high school, and then I was always the butt of the joke. And at the time, I was overjoyed because it meant I had friends and was better than being beaten up. But looking back on it, it wasn't really a friendship for a lot of it, when it was always, you were always the butt of the joke. You were always, oh, Laurie's this and not Laurie's that. And you don't realise how much simply words and stuff can hurt. So I think it's something we should all be more mindful of, is how our actions can affect others, both in a positive and a negative way.
It's also, the words have a huge impact on you, and then it takes more than words to fix that.
Oh, yeah.
Whilst a word is this big, the actions to undo the damage that this word does are huge.
And there's a big difference between something being a bit of banter and a joke that everybody's part of, and something that is quite clearly just directed at someone to be spiteful and hurtful.
I think for it to be banter is two-way. So you'll insult me and I'll insult you back, and we both know that we don't mean anything by it, and it's part of the dynamic. One-sided banter isn't banter.
No, that's just insulting somebody.
Yeah, that's just being... Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
So just circling back to the impact of the channel on people, I just want to say something that's really been very important to me and the female, which is my girlfriend, by the way, who's just over there somewhere. It's become very important to me because of a position that I was in last year. I've had various mental health crises over my lifetime, but last year was quite a good one, actually. I got to the tail end of October, and my mind just went broke and stopped working. Sort of a mini, should we say, a mini breakdown, I think is the best way of describing it. And if it wasn't for Lawrie, I wouldn't have come out of it as quickly as I did, because he was incredibly supportive, asking how I was and saying, oh, do you want to come and do this? Do you want to come and do that? And one of the big things was the invitation to go to the NEC with the modular railway. And I was a bit, well, I don't know if I want to or not. Then he said, oh, Tom's going. And I went, oh, I like Tom.
Funny enough, I was just about to say the exact same thing. Lawrie went, I think we need to invite Dave to do a few things because I don't think he's in the best of places. I think we should invite him to come to the NEC. And I went, I like Dave. Yeah, invite him to the NEC.
That was exactly his words. Do you know the best thing about that was watching you, like, through that from, like, you're always with us. You've always been bright and cheery and kind of, and Dave. But it was, like, absolutely incredible watching you come from, well, it makes me tear up, actually, but, like, watching you, like, come out of your shell over that. Yeah. And you started off, we knew you were struggling, but by the end of it, you were, like, firing on full. It was just glorious. And it was so nice.
By the time we came to the end of Sunday, I'm like, Dave's back.
It was so.
Well, I thought just sitting in the back of Nick's Alphard, messing about, trying to break each other's necks with them stupid seats, and we were all in tears laughing, and it was brilliant.
But one of the things for me, one of the most important things was that I felt needed suddenly. I felt like I really was needed, and I know I'm needed in my work and at home, but it was outside of it all. Suddenly, I was needed to do something, which was just fantastic. Like setting up the modular. Oh, we've got an electrical problem. I'm like, I know exactly how to fix that. Get me a soldering iron.
Was that the moment? Was that the moment when you were like,
yeah. That was like, I've been accepted. I feel needed. I feel wanted. And Tom, I knew you a little bit, but not that much. But I felt by the end of the weekend, suddenly I was like, I've got a good friend here.
I think the only time we'd really met before was probably at LMM Fest.
I think it was LMM Fest
because you'd bought the bike, and we sort of had a bit of a, because I don't think I'd actually met you before.
No.
But I was chatting to you about your bike and just talking about general stuff like that, and I thought, oh yeah, Dave's a good guy. I like Dave. And then the NEC, when we were all together for those 3 days, I think sort of cemented more of the foundations of all of us.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for the channel, that wouldn't have happened.
None of that would have happened. Yeah.
And then I'm looking at where I am now compared to last year.
Mr. Driver.
I'm a loco driver now. I mean, it's one very specific diesel on one very specific railway, but don't tell anyone that.
But you can now transition. That's the big thing. Now you've done one driver, you can now start doing your cross exam onto the other locos.
Yeah, and for me, last year I would never have thought I was ever going to do that in my life.
Well, this time last year, I didn't think I'd have any more than one car, and then for some reason I met these 2 idiots, or 3 idiots if you include Loz, who decided, oh yes, you need to buy them all, which did nothing but give me even more stress than I already had.
Which I think is fine.
But taking that, would you like to take the feeling of euphoria having fixed one of those problems?
Oh, absolutely. And the difference is when you've got a problem with something, the amount of times I've gone, I hate this car, stupid thing, I don't like it, I've had enough, I'm going to sell everything, I'm done. And then you put something in the group and they go, you'll get it sorted, mate. Don't worry, we'll help you. And it's always that nice feeling of group camaraderie. You know nothing's ever going to be a problem because you got your lads behind you.
Also, it's shared knowledge.
Oh yeah, that's a huge thing. But I mean, personally, I felt that with the stuff in the shed before. I've walked around it on particular low days and been like, sod it, I'm just going to sell everything. I've had enough of this. I've had enough trying to make things work. I've had enough of trying to film it. I'll just sell it all. I'll save myself a load of money on the rent. I'll get a load of money. I'll just buy myself a Tesla and be happy. I have never thought I'd buy myself a Tesla, but
And you would never be happy.
But I think, kind of going back round to Whitwell as well, the other thing that I know has made a huge difference for some of the people involved is the community that's built around the LMM workdays on the fleet up there, and which is open to anyone to come along and be part of. We organise it via the Discord, by the way, if you're wondering how to get involved. And it's a wonderful atmosphere. We've all become friends up there, and for a lot of the guys, they've made really good friendships. Some of the guys travel a long distance, and some of them are now, rather than getting a hotel, they're staying over at other people's houses more locally. And it's lovely to see this relationship of new people meet new people and become friends and start doing stuff outside the group. And just the atmosphere when we're all together is amazing. And a couple of people there have spoken to me and come up and said, you don't know what a huge difference this has made to me having this group and being part of it. I think one of the nicest things I've ever heard, and I hope they don't mind me saying without ruining who they are, is they said that my whole life I've never felt like I've fitted in, but now I've really found like I've found my tribe. I'll be honest, that made me cry. Like, to know that made something stupid that I've done has made such a big impact to other people. And I think it's not just about your mental health. Like, obviously your mental health is important, but the feeling that you get knowing that you've improved the life of somebody else is absolutely phenomenal. Like, it's the best buzz I think you'll ever get, knowing that you've done something to make other people's lives better. Oh, it's brilliant. And I'm tearing up just thinking about it.
And being a big part of these work parties that we have up there, yeah, I could see how people have changed from being very quiet introverts and clearly nervous about being out and about with people, to suddenly these people have got thoughts and opinions, and they're sharing what they're thinking and talking about how they feel, and you can see that they really feel special about being part of what we are doing up there, and making an impact on things that are going on.
And going on and doing stuff. Like, it's gone from, oh, I don't know what to do, to, right, I'm going to go off and do this. That's amazing to watch that development in people. I'm going to go sort that out. Oh, okay, cool, thank you very much. And now some of them are part of the railway as well. They're going up and they volunteer at the railway. So, you know, that they're part of the railway community. It's not just my group, they're part of the community of the railway. And that's fantastic as well.
The thing is, as we've said before, it's very difficult to get yourself involved in something different. And when you've got something like, you know, these work days where you can come along, you can have a go at trying to fix this or trying to do that and be part of the team, I think that then opens you up to go and do stuff elsewhere. If you wanted to go and join your local railway, for example, to go and do something there, or you want to go and join a club that does something else, you've already broken the ice of moving into doing something, and you know, it just makes the transition between all a little bit easier.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, for sure.
So I think basically what we want you all to take from this is just, you know, check up on your mates. If you haven't heard from a friend in a while, just send them a message. Just go, all right, mate, thinking of you, everything all right? Because it does make a difference.
And also, if you yourself are struggling with things, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to go to a friend of yours and say, look, I'm really struggling with things lately. Or even, you know, do something. I know it sounds really easy to say that, but do something. Try and find something that you enjoy, that you can do. Have a little list of, you know, 5 things that you can go and do when you're feeling down. One of mine is do railway things. You know, if you're in the Norfolk area, feel free to come and join us on one of our work party days, because you might enjoy it.
The more the merrier.
Yeah, we need the help as well. But also, it's a prime opportunity for you to talk about things that are going on, because we always ask how each other are, and we always take the time to stop and listen. And when I say stop, I mean we stop what we're doing and we pay attention to you.
And the thing is as well is it's not, you know, if you're going through something, you're not the only person to have ever gone through that.
You are never alone with it.
99% chances are that people that you'd meet, for example, at the LMM work party, there's going to be people there that have felt the same way that you have. And the best thing to do is to, you know, get together and actually talk about it, because a problem shared is a problem halved.
Exactly. And if you're on the Discord server, you know, you reach out to one of us if you're feeling a bit down, and just, you know, ask for a chat. We're not going to judge.
I think that's the fair thing. Like, our DMs are always open, and if we are the people that you would have to reach out to, then we're always here to chat. I'm always here to chat about trains and cars and stuff anyway, but, you know, if you ever need that, we're there. And I think the other thing is just think about what you're saying to people. That's a huge thing. Just think a little more about the words that you use when you talk to people. And maybe you shouldn't say that thing to a certain person because you don't know the effect. And also, just be nice to people. You have no idea how much a simple compliment or a little bit of, man, I really like your hat, or that Ruston you bought, that's brilliant, makes to somebody's day.
Best loco ever.
So, it is great, isn't it? But that's what we're going to kind of wrap this up with. And thank you all for listening. Of course, if you do need to talk to somebody, as I said, we're always available. Chat to your mates and just think about what we said, and get involved. Get involved in something you love. Don't say, oh, I don't have the time, or, you know, I'll do it tomorrow. Go get involved in it. Like, getting involved in heritage is, I think, for us, the best things that we've all done collectively. And most people who are involved in heritage, in fact, everyone who's involved in heritage and volunteers, they'll tell you that it's the best thing they've ever done. So with that, thank you all for listening. I hope for some of you that this has been something that's helped, and for those of you who it hasn't, I hope you've just enjoyed listening to us ramble a bit about the behind the scenes of running a YouTube channel. So it's a thanks from me, it's a thanks from him, and it's a thanks from the other him. And if you have enjoyed this one, how about clicking somewhere over there for, well, I guess we'll put it there, will be the other mental health video I've talked about, and down there for, I have no idea, I'm going to let the algorithm choose something for you.
That's brave.
It's really brave, isn't it?
This is where it suggests a non-LMM video.